Hey everybody, welcome back to Sip and Talk. I'm Joe, and as always, I've got Sunny here with me.
Hey!
Okay, so this week, I almost fell for one of those phishing emails.
Oh.
You know, the ones that look super official?
Mm.
This one said my bank account was compromised. I totally freaked out.
Did you click on anything?
I almost did. But then I noticed the sender's email address was like bankofamerica.helpdesk.definitelynotosuspectname.com. I mean, come on.
That's a classic. It's amazing how convincing those scams can be, though. It makes you realize how easily anyone can fall victim to manipulation, especially in the digital age.
Right. So what's been going on in your world lately?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you will not believe this AI image I saw the other day.
Okay, lay it on me.
This AI generated a picture of a cat riding a Roomba while wearing a tiny cowboy hat.
Okay, that's amazing and also kind of terrifying.
I know, right? But it got me thinking about how much AI is in our lives now.
Oh, for sure. And that's what we're diving into today.
Mm-hmm.
How do we stop AI from going bad?
Like scary movie bad.
Exactly. Not just like your Roomba deciding to attack your toes.
Right. More like what happens if AI falls into the wrong hands.
Okay, so to get into this, we're looking at a TED AI show episode.
We're interviewing Victoria Elliott.
Oh, yeah, she's a journalist at Wired, right?
Yeah, and she had some really smart things to say about AI and the problems it could cause.
Okay, so what really struck me was her point about how easy it could be to weaponize AI.
Like, you know, we joke about killer robots, but
it's not really a joke anymore, right?
yeah. No, and she brought up this case in Libya where a drone might have attacked without any human orders.
Whoa, hold on. So like a drone just going rogue on its own.
It's still being investigated, but yeah, that's definitely a red flag if it's true.
That's some seriously scary stuff.
Right. And then there are deep fakes.
Man, deepfakes are getting so good these days.
Like scarily good.
It's not just face swaps anymore, right?
No way they can mimic voices, mannerisms. It's wild.
Okay, so how are people using those for bad stuff?
Well, Elliot mentioned this case where scammers used a deep fake voice to steal money.
Wait, what? They use a deepfake to like rob a bank
Pretty much, they called the bank pretending to be the CEO.
and authorize some transfers or something?
Yeah, and the bank totally fell for it because the deep fake was so convincing.
No way. That's insane. I mean, I knew deepfakes were getting good, but...
But that's a whole other level.
Right. It's like something out of a movie.
And it's not just scams. Elliot also talked about how AI could be used to make super realistic fake news.
Okay, so like deepfake videos of politicians saying crazy stuff.
Exactly. Imagine that going viral and everyone believing it.
Ugh, that's messed up. We already have enough misinformation to deal with.
For sure. And then it's not always people being intentionally malicious either.
Oh, right. So AI going wrong, even with good intentions.
Exactly. Like, remember that Amazon AI hiring tool they had?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that supposed to help them hire people?
Yeah, but it turned out the AI was biased against women.
What? Seriously, how does that even happen?
Because of the data it was trained on, it ended up rejecting female candidates way more often.
That's so messed up, even if they didn't mean for it to happen.
Right. It just shows how important it is to think really carefully about how we're using these AI systems.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even fix that? You can't just reprogram human bias.
Exactly. And that's just one example. It highlights how crucial it is to think critically about how we are designing and using these AI systems.
No kidding. This stuff is complicated.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it's like we're trying to teach this powerful AI right from wrong, but we don't even know the rules ourselves.
Right. It's kind of scary, but did Elliot offer any solutions in the interview?
She did, actually. She had some interesting thoughts about how to keep AI in check.
Okay, I'm all ears because right now I'm not feeling too optimistic.
Well, one of the big things she emphasized was the need for better regulation.
Regulation.
Yeah.
So like laws for AI. Is that even a thing?
It's starting to be. Elliot specifically mentioned the EU's AI Act.
The what now?
The AI Act, it's basically trying to set up rules for ethical AI.
So like a rule book for how to make and use AI.
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty complicated, but basically it ranks AI systems based on how risky they are.
Okay, that makes sense. Like you'd want stricter rules for AI controlling a self-driving car than for like a spam filter.
Exactly. And one of the most interesting things is it actually talks about limiting facial recognition.
Yeah, they're trying to ban facial recognition?
Not entirely, but the idea is to prevent it from being used in ways that violate privacy or lead to discrimination.
Okay, yeah, I can see why that would be a concern.
Elliot made a good point about how facial recognition is often less accurate for people of color.
Which could lead to some really bad outcomes.
Exactly. So the EU is saying, let's slow down on the facial recognition until we can make sure it's fair. for everyone.
That's actually a really good point. I never thought about it that way.
It's an important consideration, and it shows how regulation can help guide AI in the right direction.
Okay, so regulations are one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
What else did Elliot talk about?
She also emphasized the need for ethical AI development.
So like making sure the people creating AI are thinking about the consequences.
Exactly. It's about building in safeguards from the start, like ways to make the AI's decision-making transparent.
And hold it accountable for its actions.
Right. It's not enough to just hope for the best we need to design AI systems that are aligned with our values.
It's like we're trying to teach AI to be a good citizen.
In a way, yeah. And that means thinking not just about the technology itself, but also about the broader context.
So like education and public awareness.
Exactly. We need people to understand how AI works and what the potential risks are.
Yeah.
There are things we can do to fight back against AI gone rogue. We just need to be proactive and work together to find solutions.
Okay, I'm ready to fight. What's the plan?
Well, first, we need to understand the enemy. Let's talk about how these AI tools actually work. What makes them so powerful? And what are their limitations?
Okay, let's get technical. Break it down for me.
So most AI systems today are based on machine learning. Basically, they learn from vast amounts of data and use that knowledge to make predictions or generate new content.
So like, if you feed an AI 1,000,000 cat pictures, it will eventually learn to recognize a cat, even if it's never seen that specific cat before.
Exactly. And it's not just images. AI can learn from text, audio, video, you name it. That's how they can create deepfakes, write articles, even compose music.
So the more data you feed it, the smarter it gets. That's both impressive and scary.
It is. But it's important to remember that AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on. If they're trained on biased data, they'll produce biased results.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out. It's not just about the AI itself. It's about who's controlling it.
Exactly. And what data they're using to train it.
And that's why transparency and accountability are so crucial. We need to know who's developing these AI systems, what data they're using, and how they're being deployed.
So it's like a trust issue, right? We need to be able to trust the people and the systems behind the AI.
Absolutely. And that trust is being eroded by the proliferation of deepfakes and other forms of AI-generated misinformation. It's creating a climate of uncertainty and suspicion, which is exactly what bad actors want. Okay, so we've talked about the problem, the potential consequences, and some of the solutions. But I'm still feeling a bit overwhelmed. But how do we actually get people to care about this stuff?
Well, it's going to take a multifaceted approach. Better education in schools, more public discussions, and honestly, more engaging content about AI.
Okay, so not just doom and gloom scenarios that make people terrified of the future.
Right. We need to make this stuff accessible and understandable so people can have informed conversations about it.
I like that because at the end of the day, it's going to take all of us working together to make sure AI is used for good.
Totally. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Well said. But let's be real for a second. What about the people who want to use AI for bad stuff?
You mean like the villains in those sci-fi movies?
Yeah, exactly. No matter how many rules we put in place, there will always be people trying to find ways to exploit technology.
That's true, and it's something we need to be prepared for.
It's like we're trying to stay one step ahead, but someone's always right behind us trying to mess things up.
Yeah, it's a real challenge. And Elliot actually brought up this idea of hyper-personalized persuasion.
Hyper-personalized what now?
Persuasion, basically, it's using AI to craft messages that are so tailored to you they're almost impossible to resist.
Hold on, so like AI, they can figure out exactly how to manipulate me.
Pretty much. It's like taking those targeted ads we see online and making them 1,000 times more effective.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like AI propaganda.
You could say that. Imagine getting a message so perfectly designed to exploit your fears or your desires that you don't even realize you're being manipulated.
Okay, that's seriously messed up.
Yeah.
We're already drowning in information online. How are we supposed to defend ourselves against that?
Elliot did talk about developing AI systems that can detect this kind of manipulation.
So like AI to fight bad AI.
Exactly. It's like building an immune system for the internet.
I like that, but technology can only take us so far, right?
Absolutely. Elliot also stressed the importance of media literacy and critical thinking skills.
So basically, we need to be smarter about what we consume online.
Yeah, we need to be aware of the ways we can be manipulated. Check your sources.
Right.
Look for information from reputable news outlets, fact-checking websites, or experts in the field. And be wary of content that's shared on social media, especially if it comes from sources you don't recognize.
Okay, so trust but verify.
Question everything and check our sources constantly.
It's like we need to develop a sixth sense for BS.
Exactly. We can't just passively absorb information anymore. We have to be active and discerning.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just rely on technology to fix this. We have to be part of the solution.
Totally. And I think that's the big takeaway from this whole conversation. AI is incredibly powerful, and it can be used for good or for evil.
It's a double-edged sword.
Exactly. So it's up to us to make sure we're using it wisely.
Well said, Sunny. I think that's a perfect note to wrap up our deep dive for today.
It's been a wild one for sure.
That's for sure, folks. AI is a constantly evolving landscape, and it's something we'll definitely be revisiting on the show.
Definitely. And in the meantime, stay curious, stay skeptical, and don't believe everything you see online.
Truth. If you have any thoughts on this whole AI thing, we'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on social media.
Yeah, let's keep the conversation going.
All right, that's it for this episode of Sip and Talk. We'll be back next week with another deep dive into something equally mind-blowing. Until then, stay hydrated, stay informed, and stay awesome.